This is Julie Mullins with Stereophile. We're here at AXPONA 2025, and I'm here with Jonathan Magnus Cook from Norway. And he has his axe here in tow, the full spirit going on. And we have a speaker that very recently debuted, and this is its first showing at quite a large show, the Icon 12. And so we'll start talking about that. And this is one that's been in development for a number of years, correct? And features all parts designed and made in Norway by your company. In terms of the components, although the cabinets as well are not made in-house, but also made in Europe, right?
They are, a lot of people say their products is a sum of the components. Well, we tend to not go too deep into tech because there's so many good companies speaking about it.
Yeah.
But what we have made is our take on a two-way horn construction, who doesn't sound like a horn.
The compression driver and horn loaded, and then we've got the woofer with the, you said the Kevlar treat-doped Kevlar, we could say.
It's a paper-coated coated paper membrane over Kevlar.
Okay, paper-coated over Kevlar, great. And some of the magic is in the crossover point. You mentioned that 1100 is the crossover. So what made you go that?
It is actually
that decision.
Well, we actually written on the website we make horn speakers, but we hate horn sound.
You don't want the cupped.
We don't want the shoutiness. We don't want the in the face or a lot in the top and a lot in the bottom and nothing in the middle.
Nothing. Lacked coherence. You don't
exactly.
want that.
We needed coherence because that's what we heard lacked, and that was the easy thing to say. But the long story was from trying out making an approach buying every off-the-shelf top spec part. We couldn't do it, so we had to make our own. We had to develop our own drivers in-house. That's easy to say, but definitely it wasn't easy to do. The result of that is we needed about 900 hertz in our calculations to get that handover process where it should be. We ended up in 1100, so that's what you have there now.
Okay, yeah, and for good control also. And is this what you describe as a long throw driver, or how?
It's pretty long throw. It's still controlled with a very, very linear, overpowered motor system. So you can play it low, really low volumes, and you can get that dynamic because it has the capacity. Low nighttime listening, you can, everything falls apart and ends for everyone, but here you can push it lower, and that's great. You have the authority, you have the dynamics.
And still get the dynamics even at lower SPLs.
Sure.
Yeah, and having a good sense of control also is essential. So what have you done with that? Was that in the magnet system and the motor and?
It's in the neodymium motor system has, of course, our engineer Sveinung. He has to say you cannot never get enough motor, and we've turned it to 11 here, so we have more motor in that than anything out there. That gives some opportunities. You can play in any volume, but you always have the control.
Yeah.
But it's not too hard to drive. It never goes below 8 ohms.
Okay, that is
92 dB, but that's 92 Norwegian dB, not marketing, is actually 85.
And anechoic chamber measured, okay.
Yeah, that's it.
And and can you say a little more about the horn compression driver, about what's unique to avoid some of those characteristics that maybe traditional horns didn't get right or elsewhere?
Yeah, sure. Right? Well, I don't want to speak about other people, but I can speak about that one.
Of course.
Or other constructions.
Yeah.
It's a constant directivity horn, and what it does is it doesn't have the titanium parts inside it, who a lot of compression drivers do, who ends up being very efficient, but it can also be a bit hard. So we have a carbon fiber cross-toe membrane that we have in all our lineup, but it's also there.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to have a closer look as well. And something that really impressed me when I first heard them was the bass response, how well controlled and tight, and you did have them cranked up, I heard down the hall. And do you remember this?
I can tell you a little story. We've been in the game around hi-fi shows around the world, and it's always fun, but it's always a bit different. But we got lucky on a few occasions lately with the new lineup in Poland, Warsaw last year, where we showed the small one first. We had an old guy was a priest coming in, sitting down listening. We turned it up, and he was swearing in Polish. So that was actually very memorable.
That's a good sign.
That was a memorable
You can make the Pope swear. Yeah.
Well, and in Tampa, actually, the most memorable one. It was a good show and all, but that was you. And the end of the show, meeting you for the first time, running into the room when we cranked it up. So hopefully we're doing something right.
Yeah, well, I was in listening to some more calm music, and it was beautiful and lovely, and different kinds of music. I like a wide variety, like many audiophiles, but the bass response, and even down the hall to hear how clean everything sounded, and at that volume, it was impressive. So that's what brought me back. So
there's a benefit of a super high, overpowered motor system. We can call it that. You can play really, really loud, but it doesn't feel loud. It's still clean. But
right, it doesn't feel like it's
crank
struggling or have that, too much effort.
No, exactly.
Yeah, okay. Well, and also I understand these are brand new to the U.S. Very recently, you've signed on with Harmonia Distribution.
We did after Tampa.
Okay.
Definitely.
Great, yeah. Well, that was quite a good showing. And how's the response been here so far? Pretty great?
Well, it's been really, really good. We have people coming back, and there was a guy who called it, when you're in a perfume shop and you smell all kind of different perfumes, you have the coffee to kind of reset it. I think he put a nice name on it.
Okay.
So this is his coffee, he said.
Okay, yeah, reset the ears. Thank you.
Yeah.